So, guys, what's going on? It's the day after 4th of July, and I am sitting here. I'm down south, and I'm going through just different things. I'm unpacking some things, and I find this article about old arcade games. These are old boards, man. I'm thinking Space Invaders, Asteroids, and I have an Asteroids that I love. I had it since the 80s. If you've seen my other videos, one of the few things that make me happy, at least, is when I'm going through my old retro toys or retro games. So when I see any article about, retro anything, especially when it's arcade games or toys, I look at it. And since I wanted to talk today, I hope everyone's doing well. I said, you know what, we'll put this up. First off, I hope everyone had a good 4th of July. Being down south, originally I came out of New York. I'm down south. The 4th of July here was excellent. I was able to go shopping for fireworks. I ran and I bought some fireworks down here. I don't care if it's the Carolinas. I don't care if it's Florida. All these states have firework supermarkets, and you really can just walk into a place the size of a supermarket, and it's filled from top to bottom with fireworks. I went to a barbecue. I had a hot dog. I had a hamburger. I really didn't care for the food too much. I just ate. And then as the sun was going down, what they did where I am now is they didn't blow the fireworks in front of their house. In New York, we would have just blew stuff up in front of the house. That's what we did. What these people did, what they do, at least where I am now, is they went to this designated area. It was like some park or something. And I followed this guy that I'm with. And we went to this place. It was kind of an open field. And there was houses and stuff there, but it was open. And everybody just unloaded and blew stuff off in the middle of the field. And people were taking turns, kind of, I guess. Like, we would just blow off a bunch of stuff. And then some other guy ran up and he blew off some stuff. And then some other guy came up. And there was a guy there that actually made his own M80s and blockbusters. If you go to my shorts, I have a video of him blowing up one of these M80s. I don't know which one it was, but what happened was we were shooting off a bunch of fireworks, and next to me, you just heard boom, boom. I mean, a boom, and you felt it. And I said, those have to be blockbusters or M80s. I said, you can't buy them. So if you walk into a store down here, you just can't say, where's your blockbusters or your M80s? They don't have them. So I walked up to the guy. I said, what do you got, blockbusters or M80s? He goes, yeah, man. I said, where did you get them? Did you buy them? And he goes, no, I made them. And he started telling me how he made them. He goes, yeah, I bought the tubes from here, and I got magnesium. He mentioned 2 or 3 different chemicals that, you put in these things. And I just know one of them was magnesium. And he was showing me how he made it with the fuse, and he had a bunch of them. He had a big bag that he said that him and his son make these in the garage, but for 4th of July. He wasn't selling them, and he wouldn't sell them. And they were great. And I got one video of it where he blows one up. And back in the day when we had blockbusters in the 80s, they used to blow up, but they would blow up, it was like a bomb, boom. His blew up where it actually had like sparks, almost like a fire. It looked like a firework in the sky kind of thing, but they were cool. And he was saying that's like the thing he does with his kids is that or his son, I guess, he sits in the garage and they make blockbusters and M80s, and they looked as good as anything I've ever bought. I mean, better. I mean, they were professionally handmade blockbusters and M80s. Now, he had the fuse in the middle of the fireworks. So when I was a kid and you bought these blockbusters or M80s, the fuse was at the top, but his fuse was in the middle. So it was cool. I enjoyed it. And we blew some cakes off, and I had a bunch of different stuff, man. I had some of those, I guess, bigger birthday type cake things. Tubes. I had the little mortars. We had 3-inch mortars and 6-inch mortars. I had some parachutes. Then I got into the fun stuff like the tanks and the parachutes. The parachutes are what it shoots a thing up in the air, and then a parachute comes out. It's like a jumping jack on the end of it. And I had some tanks. We had some silver jets, which were basically there's helicopters and then there's silver jets. Silver jets are kind of like a helicopter, but it's a piece of plastic type of helicopter, and it's a two-stage. It goes up once and then it shoots up again. Absolutely fabulous. So I had fun last night, and really, it ended early. It ended around, I would say, right about 11 o'clock. Now, in my other videos, I talked about doing 4th of July in New York, where we used to end 4th of July. I mean, when we did it around like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I used to come in, like I said, 2, 3 in the morning. I'd take a shower because she was totally covered with whatever, gunpowder smoke. And I come out of the shower like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I would like watch The Honeymooners. So I watch, the Twilight Zone, because there was always a marathon going on. This time I came back to where I'm living now. And I took a shower, and I was on my phone. I was just kind of looking at what people were posting. I was on X. I was on Instagram. I was kind of going through all the different apps and just seeing all the stuff people were posting about their 4th of July, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't have, where I am now, I don't have like any sort of TV hooked up. I just don't. I'm heading back into New York tomorrow, and I'll probably head back down here again later in the week. Now, why I was down here, like I said, I'm down south, and I'm kind of going in and out of the Carolinas, and I'm going in and out of Florida. I think that the Carolinas are not as crazy as Florida. And what I mean by that is I like Florida. Florida is great, has a lot of energy, and I love it. Carolinas is a little bit slower. So let's say New York is top. It's fast. There's a march and a riot, and you name it, it's happening in New York every day. Florida is, right under that, as far as just, I guess, I don't know, energy maybe, whatever. And then right under that, I would say for me, at least, it's the Carolinas. When you're talking about different cities and how crazy they are, New York would be like number one. Then you can go either Chicago or LA, you pick it, or San Francisco. But as far as I'm going is just, the Carolinas are a lot slower paced. It's slower paced than Florida, and Florida is a lot slower paced than New York City. And I like that it's slower paced. You feel the energy difference. When I go into Florida, or when I go back to New York, right away you feel there's a different type of energy, there's a different type of flow. People are more, on. I don't know how else to say it. Down here, at least, when I'm in the Carolinas, and even Florida, people will wave to you as they drive by. They'll say hello to you. If I'm, I don't know, I was standing on the corner the other day, and I was looking at a house, and people were driving by, and as they drove by, and these are complete strangers, they would wave to you. They say hi to you, they wave to you. I don't know these people. In New York, people would not be waving to you. If they were, something would be up. So that's the difference here. And I like that. That's nice. I don't worry as much here. In New York, you're on. Somebody's always trying to do something, and all you have to do is watch videos of a subway or a New York City street or anything like that. But it was fantastic down here. I enjoyed it. The people are nice in this area. Florida, certain parts of Florida are fantastic, and certain parts of the Carolinas, north and south, are fantastic. I actually like South Carolina better than North Carolina, because I think actually South Carolina is a little bit more slower paced than North Carolina. North Carolina has, I guess, Charlotte, right? Their city's a little bit more, they have like cities there. And they have a financial district and stuff like that. So I like that South Carolina is even more slower paced. I like North Carolina because North Carolina is nice. They're all nice. And, New York's New York and Florida's Florida. But fantastic down here. Nobody can say anything bad about any of these states. And with that, I actually found the guy that fixes games down here. Now, up in New York and New Jersey, I can take my games to get fixed. I have a mechanic. There's people that will come to your house, and there's people that you can bring the game to. Down here, I did find somebody that does games. There's a guy in Florida, and there are guys in the Carolinas. But the guy I found was telling me that I have to take the game to him. So he's like, "You got some?" I said, "I have some pinball machines laying around." And he's like, "Well, I don't come to you. You have to kind of put these things on a truck and bring them to me." My problem is I don't. Am I putting this together? Am I once I get it to him? Is he, do I have to then take it apart, put it back on my truck, get it to where I'm at now? So I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it. I really just want a one-stop shop where somebody comes to where I'm at, my location. They pick up the games, they take it back to wherever they take it. They fix them up and bring them back to me, and set them up, in my garage or wherever I'm going to put them. The other thing about this particular guy is he knows how to fix them very good, and he can get them running, but he doesn't do like a refurbish, meaning that I said, I'm not worried about the cabinet per se. The play fields on some of these pinball machines have a little wear and like, do you fix them up? Do you repaint? Like, what do you do with that? And they don't do any refurbishing when it comes to the play field. They do clean them, they wax them, but if something is wood, it's wood. They're not trying to do anything of that nature. Up on the East Coast, up north, there are guys that will, they'll replace the play field, or they repaint the play field. Like they'll make the game good. They'll fix it mechanically as well as cosmetically. This guy only does mechanically, and he's good mechanically. He just is not dealing with cosmetics, and I get it because some people go really good at fixing stuff, but he might not be a painter or whatever it takes to do that. So I understand that as well. So I got to see what I have to do. I have some old video games that I might get fixed down here. I got like an Asteroids, I got a Pac-Man, a Miss Pac-Man, things like that, and they haven't been turned on in 20 years. They were pulled off locations, and I wasn't putting them back in locations. And I have them for my house. I'm someone that didn't. I keep my stuff, especially stuff like that. If I have like an Asteroids and a Centipede and like a Miss Pac-Man, that's for me because I love those. I love to play those games, right? That's me. So I never sold it. If anything, I would put them, out on a location or in an arcade, but I wouldn't sell it. But personally, I would wake up in the morning and I would go to wherever my area was. In the house I'm in, I'd probably play some pinball or play a game of, Pac-Man. I like the Pac-Man that's like the speedy Miss Pac-Man, the one that's fast, the fast Pac-Man. So I got to see what I'm going to do. It's going to take a little bit of time. And that's about it. I am trying to just take everything easy, I guess is the best way to say it. I am trying to get acclimated down here. I want to try to fit in down here. I am a New York, East Coast, up north, I guess, type of guy, Yankee, I guess is the best way to say it. You could tell that I stand out here and I'm different just from when I open my mouth. The people down here kind of know that I'm not from, the Carolinas or Florida. Florida's a little different because there's a lot of New York people here. In the Carolinas, there are people that are from New York that have come from New York, but not, I guess, as much as Florida. But I think the Carolinas, both north and south, are going to be, quote unquote, the new type of Florida. People are starting to go into different states besides Florida, and the Carolinas, I think, are going to be it. Carolinas, Tennessee, that's what I'm seeing. Right now, things like Louisiana and Mississippi, I think, are a little bit too. They're not really it yet, and that's what I'm feeling. But Carolinas, Florida, that's going to be a lot of New York and New Jersey people, and these are people that don't like what's happening, and things like, I'm from New York City, and New York City's out of control. It is what it is. I've posted, look at my videos in New York City. There's a lot of things going on there, and I still have to go there. I still got business there. I still got work there, and I love New York City. And when I'm driving into New York City, when I drive back into New York City, I have to come through New Jersey first, and I love New Jersey. And as you're driving into New Jersey or on the turnpike and you see New York City in front of you, you see the skyline in front of you, and every time I drive in and I see that skyline, I always say, oh my God, like I'm home. Like this is where I belong. Like I'm in, But as much as I hate it, I love it. And when I'm there, I say to myself, I have to get out of here. And then at the same time, when I'm there, I say, I got to leave here. I got to get out of, I love being back. And at the same time, I got to get out of there at the same time. So it's this weird dichotomy of what is happening. I feel that places like the Jersey Shore, I love Asbury Park, and I love just the Jersey Shore. So I love the Jersey Shore, all of it. I love Asbury Park. I love Wildwood and Seaside Heights and Point Pleasant. You name it. I love those boardwalks, and I grew up on those boardwalks. I grew up on those beaches. I have an affinity for them. I think my next piece of property, eventually I'm going to have something near those. I don't know where or which boardwalk. It might be Long Branch. I'm not sure. Either Long Branch, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have something. Like sometimes I say Wildwood because Wildwood is at the beginning of New Jersey where I would come in from down south. And then sometimes I say, I'm going to go to Asbury Park. I love it all. And I wouldn't be unhappy anywhere along that shoreline. So I think I will eventually wind up in New Jersey, not New York City, in New Jersey, where I can still shoot into New York City if I have to, or if I want to come down south, I can, but that's me. And in the other place I was thinking, but I don't think so. I was thinking Pennsylvania. I like PA, but I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm more Jersey. When I think of PA, I'm thinking of Lancaster County. Like I would live on an Amish farm. If you want to see something amazing, go into Lancaster. But that's really it. I hope all you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I know I say this all the time. And I don't know, man. That is all, That is really it. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Like I'm all over the place here. So right now, I think that I'm going to take it day by day. I'm on a timeline, I think. And I have to really be careful about my moves here. I want to be smart about it. It is what it is. But this is where I am right now. I had a great 4th of July. I want to see what happens in this area. I still have to go back to New York. I miss New York. I'm gonna go back to New York, and then I'll come back down here. And I don't know. I guess that's just life. But anyway, if you have anything you would like to add, please leave a comment. I love to read your comments. I do read them, and I will probably like it, or I always like it because I read it, even if it's whatever it is. And that is it. So with that being said, I hope everyone's doing well. Everyone's staying safe. God bless you guys, and I will talk to you guys later.